Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Google Hangout, you did not get me this week. Ha ha ha! I am on to your trick as we have Josh Lopez, who is on the screen there. I'm going to have to cut me because my microphone is like low today. I don't know
Yeah,
why. I'm low
yeah,
today, Josh. Anyway, welcome to the podcast. You are hanging on the moon with us, professional wrestling. Talk about. We're not here to talk about your cat or I saw one Google Hangout, Josh. A girl
mhm,
was bored and soliciting people on Google what she should do. I imagine that's a very interesting hangout, but not
yeah.
one that I'm going to go check out.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it to anybody.
Yeah, I don't think you want to get advice from people on Google Plus. Although if you have advice for us, we do have a question to answer. So feel free to give us advice, or better yet, ask questions about professional wrestling. That might be a good.
If you want to ask if the network costs 99,
Yeah,
it's right here on my screen right here. You can find out right here.
yeah, are you buying the T-shirt, Josh? That is the big question.
Um, Raw's gonna be here at the end of the month in Chicago, so yeah, I might go actually. I might get that shirt actually.
You might go, but you might buy that T-shirt. Is the question.
I might get that either that or a Triple H shirt.
Okay, get a Triple H shirt, please. Some of you putting out this 9.99 shirt. I know week long rant about this, but my gosh. Now I was all in favor of the Stephanie shirt. I
Yes.
thought the Stephanie shirt
Steph,
was
Steph, Steph.
great, but seriously, we're going to have a 9.99 T-shirt. That is how far off the reservation we have gone, WWE. That's great. Congratulations on total craziness.
It's almost been a year and a half with this authority angle, and I'm surprised they still haven't had a best for business
Yeah, I mean that at least
yet.
slogan, and it's not like just totally pandering, getting your audience to be a walking billboard for your product. I mean, I just have no words for the WWE. I mean, between that whole nonsense and the whole Michael Sam thing, not a good shining light for WWE, I would say, in the public eye. It was pretty awful. Michael Sam will not be at Raw on
Mhm.
Monday. He will be on the practice roster for my Dallas Cowboys. Uh, so there you go. Not
I mean, your show could go as far as your narrators or commentators are presenting the product towards you. I mean, yeah, you know me, James. I'm more the more positive WWE fan because I watch it for different reasons, and I'm looking more towards the future and stuff. I'm not really all into like the rumors and booking decisions and all that. I just want to enjoy the show. But yeah, it wasn't good. I mean, I tell you this every week that the commentators drag the show down for me. I don't think there could be a good match going on, and I wouldn't even recognize because I hear JBL try to overpower everybody in the damn. I mean, he even started with the show with Jericho's trying to start his promo with the highlight reel, and then I hear stupid JBL remarks every 2 seconds. Oh, look at he's small. Oh, he looks ugly.
I like that. We got the Divas impressions last week and the JBL laugh this week.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good. No, JBL is terrible. I think the worst thing they ever did was giving him that stupid YouTube show with Cole because I think now he thinks it's a big deal with that stupid show, and he acts almost in commentary like he does with that stupid show, and they're not the same thing. One's
Yeah.
meant to be funny, the other isn't, at least not for a whole 3 hours. And JBL, I've wrote a piece on this for well,
I watched the JBL and Cole show. I've seen every episode, but I only watched it for Renee Young and then like some of the other mid card guys that you don't usually see on Raw or whatever. So like when Bad News Barrett's gimmick first started off, it was in the JBL and Cole show, I mean, even Damien Sandow with the singing going on. Now they have Dolph Ziggler and Zack Ryder pairing up with each other again. They
Yeah,
have good
Daniel.
writers for it, but you got two hosts that have nothing about charisma whatsoever.
They had Daniel Bryan as the Dazzler.
Yep,
Uh,
and he beats Bears. He beats Bears.
uh, I have never seen a Raw more universally hated than perhaps the last one we just saw.
Yeah.
People didn't like much of anything. If people like anything, it was the Beaver segment, and they were split on it. Some people loved it, other people hated it. But the rest of the show, pretty much people just had nothing good to say about it. And I can't blame them. I mean, even the main event, like that was way too long for a six-man tag. That at the end of it, I'm not even sure what the stakes were in that match. I mean, John Cena has to prove that he can fight Brock Lesnar by fighting the two other guys,
hmm
three guys that he's already beaten. What is this movie?
For me personally, James, I rewatched all of Raw actually. I just skipped past the commercials before I did my show yesterday morning, and I there was a lot of bad. What happened? No, anyway, my bad. Sorry. Um, yeah, Raw wasn't good last Monday, but there was some things I did like actually. I did like the highlight reel. I just thought it went a little bit too long, and I would have liked it better if they separated it in singles matches instead of combining everybody for a six-man tag team match. I liked Miz and Cesaro against Sheamus and Ziggler. I liked the match with Goldust and Jimmy Uso. I like where they're going with the Dust Brothers heel turn. Yeah, with the main event and all, I thought that it was a good match when I saw it back the second time. But the show was already so drawn out, and the commentary just got me in the state of mind I was on Monday night that it didn't really matter who won the match.
Yeah, it was awful. I've come to realize you are actually almost the opposite of Chris Walter. Chris Walter hates everything. You are much more positive. Therefore, I have balance my podcast life. That's what I've come to the conclusion.
You know, it's interesting. I grew up with the Attitude Era during that '90s Monday Night Wars stuff. I've never stopped watching wrestling since, and I understand where a lot of people come from, especially people my age that just like the Attitude Era. They just like TV 14 product, and were made to be negative because things are not the way it was back then. Right now, these days with the product. And I understand that. And there's shows that I don't like. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that the WWE is the greatest thing since sliced bread right now, but I see it for a different reason. I mean, I grew up with the Attitude Era. I go through the ruthless aggression era, go through the PG stuff, and I never had anything labor against the company. To be honest with you, I never felt jaded towards the company because they went in a PG stuff. It didn't really matter to me. I was always more interested in what the future was going to be instead of going reverting back to what happened in the past.
Well, says Mister 999.
That's
Just
why I put it right there.
that was good, but I don't know. It is what it is. The show hasn't been good the last few weeks, in my opinion. I think it really suffered, and really at a time that they can't afford it to with the network and all of the issues with trying to subscribe and all of that. It's really been a bit of oh, a bit of a mess for the WWE lately.
SmackDown's been pretty good though the last couple weeks actually.
And then Michael Sam, the Michael Sam thing too. I think put a really bad taste in a lot of people's mouth. It really kind of, even if you were a willing participant to kind of like that show, I think when they got into the whole Michael Sam nonsense, that really turned a lot of people off. And it is what it is. The one thing I did like in the show, which people seem very divided on, was the Beaver segment. I thought it actually came off pretty good, where you
Mhm.
had it ends with a stare down between Stephanie and AJ Lee, which, as many
Marking
people,
up, bro.
that is my dream WrestleMania match right there. It is coming
Mhm.
together, Josh. I see the light.
The countdown.
Yeah, it might be. Although a negative light to that is in other news outside of the ring this week. CM Punk's lawyer sent a 22-page document to the WWE wanting his fair share of the video game money for the video game that has not yet been released, 2K15, because CM Punk is of course in that game, and I guess the WWE is not looking to cut a check to him, which he has a problem with. And I think he's right. He was in the game. He was employed. He's deserving of his money.
I'm 50-50 on it. I'm surprised the whole suing lawsuit papers didn't get leaked out like every Raw script is now each week. I mean, people go out of their way to find anything these days. Even the CM Punk wedding photo that he eventually snapped on people on Twitter. I saw that over the weekend. But yeah, he's due for his royalties. He put in the work he needed to earn his spot with the whole video game and all that jazz. And I think the company's in the right too to not pay him though because you were not injured, you were in breach of contract, whether he likes it or not. And I heard Austin admit it in his own podcast that he lost money that he regrets to this day, even living with a great lifestyle that he had. But at the end of the day, you're in a breach of the contract. You should just stay till your contract was over and then leave. Until that, you can't be complaining about royalty checks because you don't deserve it now.
Yeah, but the point of contention, I guess, that his lawyer is going to make is he was in good standing when he was included in that video game, so that shouldn't matter. But we won't get too much into the legalese of that. It's just obviously that is still a very toxic situation. And I
Mm-hmm.
feel most sorry for AJ Lee. I think he's kind of stuck in the middle of all of this. Got the figure, and that can't be a good place to be if you're her. I would imagine. Other news for another Paul Heyman guy this week: Brock Lesnar had his contract reworked, and now in theory we can see Brock Lesnar at any time.
Mm-hmm.
Although it doesn't look like they added more dates to the contract, but that possibly they
Um, Here's my thing. I heard a lot of rumors about him going back to UFC or whatever. I don't know if that's true or not, but I actually think Brock could do a couple more years. The way his schedule is, and I can see through his facial expressions when he's actually on the show. He's enjoying what he's doing, and he wants to be there.
yeah, but the problem being is price tag with Brock Lesnar. Can you afford a Brock Lesnar
Good point. Yeah.
this whole new network era because he's paid an exorbitant amount of money for the amount of time he's actually there. That said, his contract does come due at WrestleMania, and there has been chatter about his desire to get back to the UFC. Paul Heyman mentioned it in his post-release DVD a few times. Brock doesn't like to watch UFC fights now because he watches them and says, "Oh, I could beat that guy. I
Hmm.
could beat that guy." So we'll see how it all ends up. But
Here's my thing with the whole network stuff. If WCW had their own separate network while they were with Turner and all that, wouldn't they be able to still be in business today? I mean, they had a lot of content before they went out of business, and it's just weird that the WWE has put all of their stock into this one project over here, probably even more than they did for the first WrestleMania, and they're losing all this money out of it. But it's odd. I really don't get how the network is that much taken away from the global brand that is the WWE.
what's odd to me is just the marketing.
Hmm.
Mind-bogglingly positive. The WWE, who is
Yeah.
The little 18-second videos or whatever.
Yeah, you have your opinions on Raw.
They promoted the hell out of that to the point that people wanted to throw stuff at the television. Yet they launched this network that means a hell of a lot more than Tout ever did. Even though WWE does own a piece of Tout, by the way, I'm sure shareholders are thrilled about the return they're getting on Tout. But that said, there's so much on the line with the network, and
Mhm.
it was like their marketing department went on a holiday for 6 months. Because all the stuff we're getting now is what I expected, quite frankly, when it launched, and we saw none of it. Now we're getting all that stuff now, and it's almost a case of, yeah, you're about 6 months too late with all this.
Do you
But
think?
it is what it is. But turning it back to where we started this conversation, Brock Lesnar with this new contract now,
Hmm.
it certainly seems like John Cena is going to lose at Night of Champions. That's the takeaway for me in the sense of, well, if they're reworking this contract now, they're already thinking about a Brock Lesnar post Night of Champions. So that kind of makes me think that the idea of him keeping this championship until WrestleMania is alive and well.
Hey, if it's his last run, I say go all out with it. I think it'd be a good idea for him to actually retain at Night Champions and see whatever dates he could fill. I mean, you have the avenue to record pre-recorded messages. You got Paul Heyman, so you don't need him on a show every week. But if he could do a monthly pay-per-view, I think he could just go straight as it is right now to WrestleMania. And then if he wants to leave, okay, that's fine.
I even think he could skip like one or two. I don't think he missed.
Well, I mean, what's he gonna skip? TLC? I mean,
Well, the December one, he's definitely skipping. I don't think he's needed there. That was usually a throwaway for the WWE to begin with. So that's when he'll probably skip. And then when you look at it beyond that, who knows? But it certainly looks like that's the direction we're going with Brock Lesnar and him being a part of the mix. So we'll see how it all shakes out. But big question for me is where do we go with John Cena? I haven't liked how they built Cena for this match. I think it's ridiculous. I think it's stupid. I just it there was it's so frustrating. And whether you're a John Cena hater or you're not, it's so frustrating that this guy constantly never given any kind of vulnerability. Like it never happens. Like he's doing that feud with Bray Wyatt.
hmm
Everyone knows that he's dating Nikki Bella. Why not have Bray Wyatt kidnap Nikki? Like, why not do something? Like, this guy has no kryptonite. The WWE books him that way, and that's just not how it works. I mean, for you to care about someone and be invested, you have to feel that sometimes that person is in peril. And I never feel that John Cena is in peril.
Yeah, it's weird. He doesn't really come off as genuine in anything he does, whether it's a promo or a dramatic moment when even his dad gets attacked by Randy Orton. It still comes off as this is genuine, in my opinion. But I think with the whole Cena thing, I actually think this is the time you're actually going to see vulnerability. It's either him going to be scaling out of the main events after his program with Brock, or he's going to change.
Yeah, I don't know where we're going with John. But it was nice that Mr. Cena got a mention from Brock Lesnar in a promo. I wonder how Mr. Cena would like taking the F5. That probably would go well for him.
Well, he's
When was
taken
his time with
everything
Orton?
already.
When was his time with Orton? I believe he legitimately got hurt.
Yes.
So maybe Mr. Cena should be getting involved in his son's matches. Maybe that's an idea.
Hey,
But
shouldn't John Cena's
I don't
dad
know.
been the one?
Total Divas is coming.
Hold up.
Sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I was trying to say, wasn't John Cena's dad should have been the one to take all the attacks for Kane instead of Zack Ryder?
Yeah, maybe that might have worked, but Zack Ryder would agree with you anyway.
Yeah.
But no, it is what it is with WWE. Total Divas is coming back on Sunday.
Yeah.
Boy, that'll spice up the lineup for WWE. I can't wait for that. Josh will be doing reports on Total Divas every week here on the video podcast. They're going to be great. But let's talk about something that actually is worth talking about. Ooh, I just slighted Total Divas there. NXT. We're heading up to their big event. It'll actually be happening the night we're doing this next week. NXT take Takeover 2, not to create it with the name.
Hmm.
I like this card. I like the match on the top, obviously, for the NXT title. I like a whole bunch. You got Sami Zayn, Adrian Neville, the champion, Tyler Breeze, and Tyson Kidd. My thoughts on this match are I think Neville's time is done as champion. I think we're getting a new champion. That said, I'm not sure who it is. But I think we could build a case for all three guys that are in that match for champion. But if I'm pressed into it, I would say Tyler Breeze.
I'm kind of split with it actually. It's either Neville or Sami Zayn's gonna be one of those guys that are coming up to the roster next during the fall. There's always at least one guy new that comes up during the fall season. Um, but I think if any chance, I think Tyson Kidd will actually win the title in this one. Um, they've proven their track record to put anything over when it comes to Total Divas and storyline stuff for the WWE. And I wouldn't be surprised if Tyson would, and which is not a bad thing actually. I actually think Tyson Kidd is not that bad as a heel. I love seeing the stuff he does each and every week. And with the whole network special, I know Triple H is going to go out his way to tell Vince, you know what, this is how it should be done, whether you like it or not. So that's how these past couple specials were. It's Triple H's vision, whether Vince likes it or not.
Well, no, Vince lets Triple H totally run NXT, and I
Hmm.
think you see the difference in that is the product down there. One of the things that you mentioned with Tyson Kidd is if he wins it, I can't wait for the explanation from Natalia Neidhart on how the NXT title is probably like just one step away from being the world championship, just like TLC is just almost like WrestleMania. She said that on Total Divas. That happened when she got her big title match at TLC and couldn't
Against AJ.
get
Yeah.
repaired because Summer Rae broke her nose with a slap.
Hmm.
Boy, oh boy, I am really selling myself on not watching Total Divas right now.
Well, you can't blame her though. She's at the point in her career where she's more of being like a trainer now for the divas instead of being a wrestler. So she doesn't have that many opportunities. So I wouldn't blame her for getting excited for TLC as opposed to Brie Bella declining to be in the opening of probably one of the biggest WrestleManias ever, just because you decide to plan a wedding a week after WrestleMania.
Yeah, but I gotta tell you, no, let me preface this by saying that Natalia, best worker in the company, not even close. But character-wise, I've never been a fan. I think as a babyface, she comes off as annoying and whiny, and I just don't like
Like
it.
ants.
He just comes off as annoying and whiny. In fact, with this whole angle with the Tyson Kidd, I desperately want her to go heel with him. I think she should turn heel, not
Yep.
only on NXT, on the main roster, and on Total Divas too. Let's have her spiking the Bella's ring, getting them like thrown off television. Let's go all out.
Hey, do you think they'll ever add NXT to like the pay per view shows, like an NXT title match on the pay per views, or they just keep it on NXT?
I don't know. It's interesting because people have brought up the whole idea of doing something like that. They used to do that kind of with the ECW brand.
Hmm.
But my thought is we talked about how Triple H has total control of this brand. Once you bring it into that main show, now Vince McMahon's involved.
Yeah.
And do you really want to risk your NXT stars coming off badly on a WWE pay-per-view before they even get to debut? I think keep them where they are. Do the four specials a year. I think it's great. I think for old people like me, it's a throwback to like how wrestling used to be, where it used to be four pay-per-views a year. It was,
Mm.
you had WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series, and Royal Rumble. That was the year, and NXT is kind of following that path.
Mm.
So Vince kind of likes it. I don't want to touch it. Uh, the rest of the card looks pretty good too. Charlotte, there is lots of rumors that she is going to be done with NXT sooner rather than later. I don't know how I feel about this. I think she's ready, and even if she's not, I think she'll catch up really quick. But she has, in the last year, if you've been watching NXT, the MVP and most improved player on that show is Charlotte Flair. She is so much better than she was a year ago, and it's interesting now they have her paired with Bailey, and if Charlotte's going, Bailey could be your NXT Women's Champion. Don't know
Mm.
how I feel about it. They've kind of moved away from a lot of the kookiness that is Bailey, but I still remember all the kookiness, so I don't know how much I buy her as a legitimate threat to anything.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I mean, it comes off the screen when Charlotte comes out. She got the jeans. I just hope they don't go the whole Cena route where they give her everything with her run at the Women's or Divas Championship or whatever it is when she gets up to the main roster and all. But I think Charlotte, besides Paige and AJ, are probably the best. No, she's probably one of the best wrestlers on the women's roster. As far as Bailey is concerned, I think she got a fine match of talent to go against. I mean, her and Sasha Banks, who's a good heel in my opinion. I think they could flip it back and forth with the title, which is not necessarily a bad thing. But I wouldn't mind seeing Bailey and Sasha Banks going at action.
I like the new little blonde girl. I like Alexis Bliss.
Hmm.
I want to see her get stuff going for herself. Becky Lynch is like the female face.
She's
That
like Edge, actually.
it needs to change. Becky Lynch needs to speak up. Save your career before it dies. That's what I think. Uh, got Mojo Rawley and Bolt MC in what
Oh
could be,
boy.
I'm sure, the worst match on the show. Do you have any disagreement in that, John?
I don't disagree with you. It's gonna be like Mark Henry against Big Show, but on a much lower scale
And smaller, smaller,
and
not
less
as
charisma.
yeah. Well, Mojo has charisma. He just doesn't have anything else. Um, let's put it that way. And Bull Dempsey, there was a lot of people that were mad when that gimmick first came out,
Mhm.
uh, saying that that should have gone to Kevin Steen. No, no. I dropped to my knees and prayed,
Thank
thank
you.
the Lord that Kevin Steen did not get that gimmick. Because no offense to the guy doing the role, I know he's a good friend of Mike Bennett, uh, who's in ROH, but that is a death. That that old school gimmick is not gonna cut it on the main roster. Just like I know people love the vaudevillains, but to me that's not a gimmick that'll translate on the main roster either.
Yeah, there's so many little things you could deal with or have any control with, especially like with the Bob Villains, like you said, some of those gimmicks that work well for a smaller crowd that's used to doing claps and random chants during matches that have nothing to do with what's actually going on in the ring and stuff. But I'm not really much into the Bull Dempsey thing or whatever. He's totally bad in the ring for what he does, and he kind of reminds me when I first saw Rusev in NXT. The guy needs a talker because if he was on the main roster and he had nobody to talk to him, Nobody would care about it.
But you don't like him coming out chanting "Bull, Bull,
Bull,
Bull."
bull.
Come on, that's
I don't need I don't need Rhino coming out with an Andre the Giant singlet to pretend to be a bully now.
Rhino. I had to watch TNA last night for Between the Ropes. I got to see Rhino 2014. That was an experience in
That
itself.
was like an independent wrestling show yesterday.
Yeah, one other thing. There's a rumor going around because we mentioned Kevin Lee
Mhm.
developmental. If you didn't know, so is Prince Devitt. So is Kenta. A lot of people speculating on if we're going to see these people at the show. They're not booked on the show. But rumor has it that Kenta will in fact be on the show, and Ric Flair, just so he can get a free trip to see his daughter wrestle, will
Mhm.
be there. And what the hell? He's going to present Kenta to the NXT audience, and I'm sure we'll be in the corner of his daughter as well, taking on Bailey. I would not rule that out of the equation. But
You want it? You want a quick impact with Kenta Flair? Get ready to take a bump.
yeah, I don't know. Is Kenta going to be a good guy or a bad guy? I don't know. I'll tell you one thing: if he uses all his moveset that he has, he's going to be a bad guy to the WWE audience because they're going to say, "Hey, what are you doing CM Punk and Daniel Bryan's moves?"
Hey,
The
that's gimmick
WWE audience,
infringement.
they stole them from him. But hey, what does that matter?
Hey, were the Japan fans mad when Randy Orton stole John Laurinaitis' move?
I don't think anyone's mad with Johnny Ace.
Good point.
No one seems to like Johnny Ace. I have learned listening to countless wrestling interviews. There is not anyone who really puts over Johnny Ace.
Or Kevin Dunn.
Oh, Kevin Dunn. People have mad hatred for Kevin.
Yeah.
And apparently, among those Triple H steps, that is apparently move number one of the
Mhm.
McMahon Helmsley era for real. Kevin Dunn is out the door. That is
Hey, hey, is
that's
Tori gonna be brought back?
pardon me.
Is Tori gonna be back?
No, nor China. Although I was surprised, they actually mentioned China in that Monday Night Wars DX.
Yeah, I saw that.
I was thinking, how are they going to do a DX thing and totally ignore China? Because that's what they have done traditionally. But China mentioned on WWE.
Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was a good show. It's funny. I put this with 9.99 because today is actually my last day of my current subscription to the network.
Oh,
So
so
after tomorrow, I'm out. So I gotta
that's what
resubscribe.
you're leaving?
No, I'm not leaving. I have to resubscribe.
Oh, okay. But you're not leaving. You're coming back.
Yes.
Because I could maybe finagle send an email to WWE. Maybe you can get a free 9.99 T-shirt if you renew. Oh man, you know that's coming too. That'll
hmm
be like one of the gimmicks. I see it now.
Hey, if you vote on the WWE app, you could be putting the raffle ticket for 9.99.
You resubscribe, you get a free 9.99 T-shirt.
Yep.
Oh boy, uh,
Promo code WWE Network.
that's
No,
it.
no, promo code 9.99 actually.
WWE has me depressed. I did watch your TNA last night, Josh. I have to say, being honest, it wasn't a great show. It
hmm
wasn't horrible. But one of the things that stuck out to me, and I was just like, what? Because I really think this guy is good, and I
hmm
think he's better than this in the sense of MVP. MVP came out, cut a promo, and tried to get an audience to believe that Bobby Lashley can not only be the TNA World Champion, but the champion of Bellator. Really? Bobby Lashley? Like, I am not an MMA expert. I am a Ronda Rousey fan. I like GSP. I like watching Brock Lesnar.
hmm
but I do watch it, and I know a little bit about it, and I can only imagine what Steve Muehlhausen, who we worked for example, at Between the Ropes, would have thought when he heard that. I'm sure if he had a beer, he would have
Hmm.
dropped it and said, "Are you kidding, MVP?" Like that was the one thing I was like, I shook my head, and there are other things that made me shake my head about TNA, but all in all, it wasn't a horrible show, but I just I don't enjoy it. I just am not a fan of the product they put on.
I wonder if Big John and Dixie are scared that Bobby Lashley will get knocked out at the Bellator scene.
They're like Bobby Lashley is not like the second coming of Brock Lesnar. He's not even close. He
Hmm.
might be a better MMA fighter than him.
Oh no.
In fact, that match almost happened.
That one fight with the guy that looked like Yokozuna? Come on.
But you never know. Like, I mean, I am not convinced
Mhm.
that that's a good idea for Bobby Lashley or for TNA Wrestling or for Bellator for that matter.
Or Spike.
I
Hey,
think
I'm gonna get some heat on this. Getting to watch the show yesterday. All respect due to Samoa Joe and all, a tremendous in-ring performer. But as far as your character and trying to pretend you're the big tough guy and everybody's supposed to be scared of you, okay, you tried to do that like almost 15 years ago, and it still is not working to this day. It's kind of unjust that the guy hasn't had a major run as the face of a particular promotion or whatever. But I don't know. Samoa Joe's becoming stale to me. I don't know if it's the way they're presenting him on television each week, but it's only so much your in-ring stuff can do to make you appealing to a casual viewer.
he's the guy too that I mean, when I'm a big guy, you're a big guy, Josh. I mean, I'm not gonna be the one saying, hey, this guy's out of shape or this guy's out of shape or whatever. But
Hmm.
I remember seeing Samoa Joe in ROH. I remember what he looked like. I remember how he looked. He was still a big guy, but he looked a heck of a lot better than he does now. And he's not a guy that pulls it off as well as, say, Kevin Steen as an example, but
Hmm.
he carries the weight. I think he goes down and he's just not as effective in the ring. And character has never been what sells Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe has always been sold on being just a tremendous worker, and it's just a ruthless competitor. And I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I feel sorry for the guy though because so many guys that he came up with have went on to have huge, huge success. And that's got to eat at him every day of his life. Whether he says it does or it doesn't, it has. It just does. I mean, the fact that Daniel Bryan's making billions of dollars in the WWE, the fact that CM Punk's making billions of dollars, or was, in the WWE, it just has to eat at him. But
Is
we have
he
to
like the? Is he like the Sting of TNA, like of this generation, like the guy that was, even though he had like a tryout or whatever with the WWE, I think he had a couple dark matches with the
No,
WWE in the
never
past.
did. They've never talked. Ever.
No,
He's
I
never
swore I
been.
saw one dark match with him or somebody.
No, AJ Styles has been there
Okay,
sometimes.
but anyway,
Go ahead. Yeah.
this the guy that's never had an opportunity to work with the company and goes out of his way to be against the company, and then right as he's about to retire, he joins the company.
I mean, there were rumors that he was being pegged to the Umaga gimmick.
Hmm.
Court Bauer has said that isn't true. Because Court Bauer had a lot to do with creating the Umaga character. He said, no, Mojo was never supposed to be Umaga. And I believe Joe said the same. That was the only time I ever remember where there was a real strong rumor that he was going to be tied to the WWE at all. But it is what it is. Big weekend for Ring of Honor. They are coming up here to Canada to the great white north that tell people it is not white yet. It is bloody hot today here in Canada. I am here to report. But Ring of Honor bringing their All Star extravaganza to the old Maple Leaf Gardens, now the Mattamy Center. It's a lovely little arena. I think it's a great place for ROH to run. They've only ran there once before. Some unfortunate circumstances that one time they did. That was, of course, the show that Michael Bennett had the unfortunate pile driver to BJ Whitmer, but thankfully BJ Whitmer is fine and Michael Bennett is fine, and they will be returning to that arena along with the rest of ROH for what I think on paper, Josh, looks to have a chance to be a show that could be talked about as one of the best of the year at the end of the year for the people that look at the whole wrestling landscape. This is a show on paper. It could be that good.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. The television shows for ROH have been good. I kind of wish they actually had an ROH TV network here in Chicago. We don't give like any syndication for Ring of Honor, so I had to actually watch it on the computer and stuff. So I really am looking forward to the show on it's Sunday, right, or Saturday?
Saturday,
Saturday.
ROH all
Okay.
unless
Anyway.
they're doing a traditional pay per view, they run the Saturday. They did for Best in the World. They ran Sunday,
Mhm.
and I believe for Final Battle they're going to run on Sunday. But I don't have that date in front of me. But that's supposed to be a traditional pay per view. This will be an iPay per view on YouTube for those wondering. So everyone can check out this show, not just me who's going. Walter. And Walter's gonna be on the podcast tomorrow, like a rock
Aldermania.
star. You have no idea, Josh. This is the first show Chris Walter has ever gone to live, and he is like a kid getting ready for Christmas. He sends
Markout
me,
mode.
he sends me Facebook messages, and oh, did you hear about what they're doing on the show for this and that? And, oh, he wants to meet the Young Bucks. He wants to meet AJ Styles. I tell you, I feel like I'm taking my son to the matches. It's that special for me and Walter, apparently.
Hey, I really envy you guys, though. I mean, you got Michael Elgin and Jay Briscoe for the world title. That's gonna be an awesome match. You got AJ Styles against Adam Cole, and then you have
First time
uh,
ever for that one.
yeah, and then you got Red Dragon and the Young Bucks, 2 out of 3 falls match.
That is going to be nuts. I mean, the Young Bucks are just on a whole different level. They have had some matches this year
Hmm.
that have been completely off the chain. I think all the people that used to doubt them, used to call them spot monkeys, used to have a lot of negative things to say about the Young Bucks, it's over. They are the best tag team in the friggin' world. I know they were teasing about the whole idea of going to NXT. I hope it's not just one of their jokes because it should happen. They're that good. They could walk into the WWE tomorrow. I know everyone's going to say they're small. They are small. I met them. I get it. But because they're so brazen and they act the way they do, I think they're like a guy that's like 5'7", but
Hmm.
acts like he's 7 foot tall, and I think that can get over in the WWE.
You know, the Rockers were small, and they got over. The
I mean,
Heart Foundation was small.
yeah, but in relative terms, though, I mean, when you compare the Young Bucks to Shawn
Hmm.
Michaels, they're significantly shorter than even him, and Michaels, by WWE standards, at my height, which is like 6 foot, is considered short. But it is what it is. But I think the Bucks and Adam Cole. I think if we see Adam Cole back in ROH after his final battle, I will be shocked. His contract ends sometime in December, and if the WWE does not pick up Adam Cole, I don't know what they're doing. Adam Cole is just on a whole different level, and he's young and he's talented
Hmm.
and he's one of the nicest people I've ever interviewed. Basketball, football, all the stuff I've covered over the years. One of the nicest people I've ever interviewed. He gets it in a major way, and I think it's more than likely that he will be gone too. And who knows? Maybe we'll see the entire Mount Rushmore from PWG making their way to NXT.
I think it's kind of interesting you brought up Cole. He kind of got like an appeal to me, like a mixture of HBK but also kind of like Chris Jericho too. I think he could be a great asset for the company, and I think he could be a great heel for the company as well. Whether he's in NXT and then he's going to get the guy like Sami Zayn or whatever, but I really think Adam Cole could be a big asset to the WWE if they sign him in December.
Yeah, Adam Cole is just he's on a different level, and he's really getting it. I'm excited to see him go at it. Also on this card, the former team known as Bad Influence, they'll be going up against some for some form of the decade. I think it's scheduled to be Whitmer and Jimmy Jacobs, but who knows with those two? You could get any combination of the two. It's kind of like the old Demolition with
Yeah.
the decade. You never know who you're going to get. And I think we'll close out the show with what we talked about last week. We had the Battle of Los Angeles last weekend, and that was. And maybe we won't be talking about it because I was going to bring up the results, and oh, there they are. It's okay. Battle of Los Angeles went down, and quite the show they put on. 3 nights at the Reseda Coliseum, better known as the Legion Hall that is in Mississauga. I can't remember the branch number, but all in all, it seems people had a good time at Battle of Los Angeles, and it's interesting because the guy who ended up winning it was not someone who I would have thought of, but he's a great wrestler. Ricochet ends up taking the Battle of Los Angeles. And that's usually a big springboard for someone on the Indies when you win that. I mean, Adam Cole's a past winner of that tournament. We saw Kyle O'Reilly win that tournament, I think. People have gone to great things after winning Bola. And the one thing I take away from it, though, is it makes me nostalgic for the WWE. I love tournaments. I think tournaments are great, and I think they're a great way to create a whole bunch of views coming out of them if you do them the right way. And I miss that in the WWE. I would gladly get rid of, TLC or Hell in the Cell as a gimmick for a pay per view and give me back my I would gladly take it.
Mhm. I totally agree with you. Especially with Ricochet, even with Kevin Steen leaving PWG and Ring of Honor, I think Ricochet could finally get the recognition that he deserves, even though he's been like a mainstay for that company and also for Dragon Gate and Evolve as well. And I think Ricochet is just another guy that's widely underappreciated. I know he's like really one of the main guys in the indie world, but I'm surprised that none of these companies have picked him up. I mean, even I don't know what's up with Jeff Jarrett and his catalog of
Global.
superstars that he's looking for, but if he doesn't even snatch this guy up, this guy could be as good as AJ Styles was when he first started with TNA.
The question is, will Jarrett be able to though? Because the new AAA promotion, Lucha Underground,
Yeah.
started taping in a couple days, I think, and they tried to sign the Young Bucks and a couple other big names on the Indies, and they weren't able to get it done because of the contract they wanted the guys to sign. I mean, as much as wrestling may be on the decline overall, So independents are really well, and Young Bucks, who they're working New Japan and putting work to get with ROH, they're not going to give up all the money that they can make. I mean, you follow the Young Bucks on Twitter, they're doing a big match every weekend somewhere. They're
Hmm.
getting pretty fair penny to do it, I would imagine. And, you know, it's going to be hard for Jeff Jarrett, I think, to attract the top indie talent because realistically, there's enough money out there that unless you're a TNA and a little more for the WWE, obviously, I don't think there's an appeal to lot now. ROH is able to have some of their wrestlers under contract, but not all of them are. And I think a lot of people that work on the independents want that freedom and that ability to be able to work on it. That said, there's a risk that comes to that. Because if you end up hurt, you're really screwed. But I can see the point how independent wrestlers want that freedom.
Yeah, you make a good point. I was just thinking about how the AAA promotions just been trying to get everybody that's available on their roster. Not that's an impossible thing to do. I know Ray still got his contract issue going on too, and
Yeah, he's not coming. Del Rio's not coming. I mean, and the thing is, there's cases like, I want to say, Court Bauer gave a number on Bauer and Paul. Podcast. I think he said 42 weeks, but that's a heck of a lot of TV that they're paid for. Let's put it that way. So, I mean, we're talking about 42 weeks. That's almost a year.
hmm
So, by the fact that you can't use Ray and Alberto Del Rio now, you're almost, you know, going to have a hard time bringing them into the show post facto. It's going to be hard to do. So, it's interesting because I think a lot of people wanted to see this be successful, and I'm a huge fan of Conan, who is the main booker for this place. But I'm not sure how this is all going to play out. And Jeff Jarrett's promotion, I honestly think it's never getting off the ground.
I heard something about a NASCAR guy being a COO of the company now.
Yeah, that's right. That Hermie Sadler, he used to bring him in on TNA. He's like a big buddy with Jarrett, and he's also a buddy with this other guy who's like really rich, and his money's involved in this too, and that's why Hermie Sadler is on the board of directors for Global Force Wrestling. I just think Jeff Jarrett's doing the same kind of song and dance he did when he tried to start TNA the first time. And realistically, TNA would have been dead if it was just on Jeff Jarrett. If Dixie Carter, God bless her in all her stupidity, and more importantly, Dixie Carter's mom and dad didn't come on, we're not talking about TNA wrestling. It would have died in its infancy. It never would have even made it to television. It would have died when it was doing the live pay per views. Were they 9.99 back in the day, Josh? I don't remember.
I think the pay per views are like 12.99 or something.
Oh, you see, they could have had him. They would just went 9.99. That would have done it. And then you could have watched heel Tony Schiavone for an episode.
Oh
That
my
was
god, that was horrible.
that was awesome.
Yeah, Shivani and Russo in the 15-minute promo.
Oh, that was great. That was great.
Hey, did you see that argument with Russo and Mark Madden on Raw?
No, but there are two people that I could care less about.
Like,
So I hope they both kill each other. One thing though,
whoa!
I do. I hope it's a knockdown, drag out. They both take each other out. What can I say? Vince Russo though also wrote this letter, this heartfelt letter to Vince, Triple H, and Stephanie. Two questions: what do you think the odds are they actually read it? And two, who do you think was the first to laugh? Was it Vince? Was it Stephanie, or was it Triple H?
Well, I did get to catch the letter he wrote about it, and I listened to his interview he did with the Pro Wrestling Report with David Hero and Damian Nelson, and I think the guy is actually sincere in the fact that he wants the business to succeed, but at the same time, the fact is now he can do things on his own terms, and he has the chance to finally express his opinions while having Vince or Dixie tell him, "Oh, things have to be this way." So when Vince goes out on Twitter during Raw and saying the show is nothing appealing about it, it comes off as, "Oh, I'm not working for a company right now, so I'm gonna say whatever I want, and then people are gonna say, "Oh, you're bitter and this and that." But looking at the letter he wrote, I think it's just sincere. I don't know if he wants to go back and actually work for Vince right now, but as far as your question is concerned, is I think probably Hunter saw it first,
Yeah,
showed it to Stephanie, and then she laughed.
right. Uh, no, you know what? After that letter, he's not coming back. It's not happening. Vince Russo has reached the end of his rope and the end of his line. And what a run he's had. I mean, in all honesty, has anyone made their career off less than Vince Russo and kept it going for, gosh, over a decade? I mean, it's unbelievable how he always seems to be able to resurface. I people think I'm saying this jokingly, but there's something to admire in that he's been able to survive for this long in a business where he's not well thought of by a lot of people, and that's being kind, I think. But it is what it is. As for Mark Madden, he's just a blowhard, and I hope his Steelers lose. That's it. The NFL kicking off this week. Your Bears taking on
Mm-mm.
local favorites around here, but not my favorite, the Buffalo Bills. Who
Oh, Sunday, yeah.
for this week crush the Bills, crush the hope of Buffalo, and tonight we have Seattle and Green Bay.
Yep.
2 seconds left. I'm thinking, being a Chicagoite, there's no way you can actually pick Green Bay. So, Josh,
No, Green Bay's offensive line is horrible. Their defense is bad. I'm not trying to say this just as a Bears fan. Just saying as a guy that's played football in the high school level and stuff. It's okay. You got Aaron Rodgers. I don't care what quarterback you are. When you have no offensive line and you're taking on a team like Seattle, you're lucky to walk out healthy.
well, it'll be, and it's in Seattle too. I think
Mm, yeah,
that's
that helps.
12th man. You want to talk wrestling crowds that are loud? Hey, there's a lot of wrestling crowds that can learn from the people up in Seattle. And on that happy note, I will be at a loud wrestling crowd this weekend
Hmm.
with Chris Walter, to hear his giddy excitement. Tune in for the podcast tomorrow, as it'll be just myself and Chris Walter talking about probably a lot of ROH. Let's be honest, because Chris Walter will want to talk about it. So
Hey,
look,
the only local thing that I'm seeing is a Raw that will have a loud crowd heading into Hell in the Cell, one of the least cared about pay-per-views to me.
when CM Punk breaks into the cell and returns to save his
Return imminent.
wife from the evil Brock Lesnar. I don't know. That's probably not happening. But we are done. We are out of time. Josh has to go cover NXT and let people know what's going on that lovely program. And we may have to change our time next week. I don't know when the NXT takeovers starts. Do you, Josh?
I'm gonna let you know after the show's over. I think they're gonna announce the whole pre-show and stuff, so I have to do
All right.
cover that.
Stay tuned. We'll be back on Thursday. It just might not be at the same time.
Hmm.
We'll let you know throughout the week. But thanks for joining us, and you can always catch us live most times 7:30 to 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. So if you're watching and it's not live, you can watch then. next time. Take care, folks.